What's up, guys and gals, and welcome to Veve Vibes. I know it's been a very long time since my last video, but I do want to bring back these market updates, and I'm going to try and keep these as brief as I can. But then again, I know not everyone has time in their day to look at the market, what are the highs and lows and things going on. So I do want to bring back these videos now that life's kind of eased up and I have a bit more free time, or I should say I've created more free time in my day now. I will say this before, I know you guys pretty much know me for using eComi Wiki. So obviously it's a one-man show. Site's been under construction for well over a year at this point. I used to use this all the time, but just because as of right now it's unsupported and a lot of the information isn't 100% accurate, I can't rely on it or kind of share that information with you guys. Another one I used to use, or I still use occasionally on stream, is Vmate. I do like it a lot. I do have a couple small gripes or just kind of feedback things about it. Sometimes it does load screens. It does take quite some time. Sometimes it could take up to 10 to 15 seconds whenever I click on an object or an item. It takes a long time to load the market, as you can see here. One other small gripe about it too is that sometimes whenever I click on the market, it doesn't give me any options or the filters for the ultimate highs and lows, right? It tells me the highest price NFTs versus the lowest price NFTs. You can organize it that way. You could organize it by rarity, things like that. I will say it's very, very good for looking up specific NFTs, either it's comics or digital collectibles. Of course, in order to become a pro, to look at the auctions, I used to use the auction system until something happened to my MetaMask account. I can't use it anymore. I need to kind of like re-up on OMI in order to take advantage of that. So I do like Vmate, but if you're trying to ultimately look at like the highs and lows of the market, there's nothing better than my NFT tracker. I still haven't created a login because, quite frankly, you don't even need one. So that's one nice thing, is you don't have to create a login in order to do it like you had to do with the two previous platforms I just brought up. So I use my NFT tracker all the time. One small gripe about it too is sometimes it is behind on the most recent NFTs. I don't think it'll show the comics up here when it says newest NFTs. I mean, we did have not only the Pink Panther, but also the Lambo drop recently, and it still hasn't updated it. So I'm not sure if it's just because they dropped on the weekends, and maybe this will update some point early, Monday, because actually today is Monday at about 5:30 a.m. here Pacific time. So these are the prices as of this point. But I do like how if you scroll down, you can look at the rising NFTs, the falling NFTs, the cheapest ones in the market, the most expensive ones. In addition to that, the search functions are absolutely amazing. Whenever you click on this little NFT tab up here, and you can search everything by highest price, floor price, market listings, 24-hour trend, what's remaining in the store, all-time highs, all-time lows, collectibles, comics, rarities, all that kind of stuff. So really enjoyed this website for those reasons. So for right now, even though it's I do think like the graphs and everything aren't as clean as eComi Wiki. There's a lot of things I liked about eComi Wiki, but there's a lot of things I love about this platform too. So we'll go ahead and jump into it. So for the market highs, most of these are going to kind of get gobbled up by comics. I just think because market has just been pretty slow recently, and there's a lot of really thin floors. So I do think when some comics are going up in value or down in values, even with collectibles, I think the market right now is just kind of a weird place, because it seems like, oh, right here, Black Panther #2 is just skyrocketing in price. The price is doubled. Is that due to delistings, or is that due, more than likely you can barely see it here on your guys' end, but there's only 9 listings of this. So what I think what happened is there's probably just a delisting happened on the floor. The thing pretty much doubled in price, which is why it went from basically 100 gems to 199. Is that part of the case? Not sure. But if we take a look at the collectibles, I do think the collectibles are a bit more accurate, just in the sense of I do think people are looking for collectibles over comics right now. There's just so many comics, it's kind of hard for people to pick and choose which ones they want for the most part, except for obviously the grails. But if we're looking here, I think it's the Dilophosaurus. I think that's the name of it. This one's gone up a little bit in value, as well as Hawk Girl. I actually do want to kind of come back around. I'm starting to accumulate slowly, but I will say this, the market has been going down. Not just including, the last year and a half at this point, but just more ever since cash out has happened here. The OMI like staking program was announced. I'm not sure people are cashing out in order to actually buy OMI and then stake it back onto Veve. Not entirely sure. But there's a lot of really good FAs that I think are still out there that people, if you haven't grabbed them yet, could be a good chance. Things like Hawk Girl, Supergirl, FA Joker. I think there's a lot of FAs that people have kind of overlooked just because they dropped so long ago that people kind of forgot about them. Jane Foster Thor's up a little bit. So I do think a lot of these listings, in my personal opinion, are just from delistings, either delistings or maybe someone actually bought one on the floor. Someone floored a NFT collectible so low at price, because we're at the point now where I don't think people are looking for, you know, a 2-5% discount in order to like really buy a floor collectible. Like people are undercutting by like a full 20% in order to actually sell it. So if a collectible is going for 100 gems, in order for someone to really just buy it instantly and be like, ooh, this is a good deal, people are flooring NFTs at like 15 to 20% discounts in order to just get rid of it and have the liquidity available for whatever reason. So I do think that's pretty much what's happening across the board with a lot of these NFTs. So a lot of Disney stuff. So Rafiki, Mickey Mouse, lenticular card. Then we also have a Queen here. We're also getting to the point now where there's a lot of Disney collectibles on Veve. I feel like whenever I look at the highs, the biggest losers, the biggest gainers, it's mostly covered by Disney or Star Wars or Marvel of some kind. So I know these market updates aren't going to be as clean as when we used to do them with the Komi Wiki, just because everything is so spread out. Also, the text is pretty small, so it's kind of hard for you guys to read everything on here. So Alice in Wonderland, this is actually a poster I had for a while. This actually went back up in price a tiny bit, but these things pulled back a ton. I will say posters always haven't done that great unless it's like a super iconic, or maybe a limited run, or maybe an unpublished poster like some of the Star Wars ones were before. So if we actually go back to the homepage, I'm kind of curious what's actually down at this point. And again, with comics, it's really hard to figure out a trend because it's just all over the place. With comics, it's so easy to just get lost in the sauce or whatever. You like list a comic for sale, where there's just so many comics, and even within those comics, there's 5 different rarities. So it's very easy for someone to like floor a collectible for super cheap, then another guy floors it, another guy floors it, and it just kind of gets lost for the most part. But the man with the golden gun, that one's down quite a bit. So more Marvel comics that are just dropping quite a bit. Wow, Spider-Man #4, first appearance of Sandman, is actually down about 30.5% as of like end of day today, or end of day yesterday for the most part. Some more comics. Let's go ahead and take a look at common comics. I feel like common comics, with the rarities between like common and like ultra rare, that's always just kind of a grab bag of just like what's up and what's down. But I think like if you're looking for somewhat consistency, I feel like most people tend to go after either the common or the secret rare. So it's like either the whales are going after the secret rares and they're trying to keep that floor a certain price, or the commons and people just want to get the base version or the classic version of the cover. So let's go ahead and look at the comics. So which ones are actually going down the most right now? Moon Knight is actually down. So right now it's worth 3.5 gems. Black Panther #1 is also down about 25%. There's a lot of sub 2 gem comics going on right now. I forgot first appearance of Monica Rambeau. I think that's the middle one. I could be wrong about that one. Spider-Man annual #16. Yeah, and then even Phoenix. I remember Phoenix was pushing 5-ish gems at one point. The 90-day. I remember when this first dropped, it was actually one of the better performing. Yeah, it went up to 5.8 gems at one point. It's pretty steady between 3 and 4 gems for the last 30 days or so. Go back even further if we can. Yeah, this was going for 6 gems at one point. Then it kind of just traded sideways between 3 and 4 gems. Then it pumped up to 6. I'm not sure what that was. Maybe that was the announcement of the Death of Phoenix comic, and then the original kind of Phoenix comic pumped up a bit. But now it's pulling all the way back to 3.5%. Or sorry, to 3.5 gems. We're at the point now where like almost the new floor. And if you guys remember, like for the longest time, like 2 gems was kind of the bare. That was like the floor for common comics. Even for like a trash tier comic, people were pretty reluctant to list it for less than 2 gems, or for at least like just shy under 2 gems. But like anything below 1.8 would typically just get bought up immediately. But now we're at the point now where like we actually have a lot of comics below 1.7, 1.6. I mean, we even have some comics at like 1.39 right now. And you see there's a lot of 9s going on. So people put 1.39, 39, 4.49. But yeah, so it's like, seems like the new floor for these comics are definitely going down. There's definitely less buying going on, or maybe people are just accumulating the Grail comics over the kind of, instead of collecting everything, I think people are being a bit more picky with which comics they buy, because you can go out and buy, I mean, heck, you're at the point now where you can legitimately buy 20 comics for 40 gems or even more now. But at that point, it's like, all right, should I just buy a Grail comic for 20-25, something like Avengers 1, rather than getting kind of 20 quote unquote trash tier comics, right? Let's go back to the homepage. Look at one other thing. We're already pushing over 10 minutes. This is, you know, like I said, there's no script here. There's nothing going on here. But if there is a platform or a website you guys want me to use, or if there are certain things you guys want me to cover instead, just let me know down in the comments. I'll try and work that in next time. But like I said, first video in a long time, also using a completely different platform. I usually do this on my stream. Let's see here. Let's see if this will load. A little bit of lag going on here, so I apologize. Just wanted to look at the top gainers really quick, and we'll look at common comics. I think we looked at collectibles earlier. We'll look at the common comics. So Mr. Fix-It is actually up a little bit, 37%. Some of the Hulk comics are going up quite a bit. And again, I do think some of these are pretty thin floors. First appearance of Ant-Man, that's at 3.2 gems. First appearance of, gosh, not the Beta Ray Bill. Almost like blanked out there for a bit. That one's up 26%. So yeah, there's a handful of comics that are up about 25 to 35%, but it's only these top 5. After that, now we're starting to look at things like first appearance of Vulture, Venom, things like that. So those are going up a bit as well. But I remember when first appearance of Venom was really holding its value between 40 gems. I would say between like 30 to 40 gems. So yeah, it's like 30 here. It's pushing almost 40 here. It was actually a pretty consistent comic until just more recently, just started really pulling back. And the listings haven't changed all that much. Like if we're looking at the highs here, it's at 60 total listings. And right now we have about 66, 65 total listings for the most part. All right, let's see what other comics are going on here. Always love this Captain America annual number 8. I remember, geez, this comic was, when this thing was like above retail for a little bit. Maybe when like it first came out, or just shy of retail. Yeah, 8 gems. Like this is really early on. This thing was like over double digits in gems, but now it's pulled all the way back to 3.5. So yeah, I mean, we're kind of at the point now where I don't know if people are buying Bitcoin instead, just because like halving and stuff is coming up here around the corner. You know, I know I've mentioned a couple times in other people's streams, like 14 days of Veve, things like that. I know that sounds like a really long way off, but just think of how fast this year has gone by. 14 days of Veve is only like a couple months out. And that's also a very notorious time for people to like sell off a ton of collectibles and comics in order to have enough gem liquidity for the new FA this, FA that, you know, whether it's a comic or a collectible, new IP this. Also, Veve still has yet to announce the Hulk airdrop, the final pencil that will then lead to the desk airdrop. So we're still waiting on like multiple airdrops, multiple series are happening, and on top of that, just the market is pulling back in general. And not only that, also Veve has yet to announce whatever this like September announcement was. I could have sworn Alex G said, hey, in August we're gonna have this like big announcement, but we actually had to push it out. It's out of left field. It could be a completely new vertical. It could be music. It could be cards. No one knows really what it is, but I think everyone's just kind of like waiting with bated breath too, whatever that is. So it's like we have a lot of things that we're just waiting for, and because there's just some obscurity going on and there's not a lot happening in the market right now, people just aren't really buying too much. There's just not much going on, and we're still kind of hurting when it comes to getting actually like new users on the platform. Right now we're getting people just putting more money in whatever they're hyped about a new drop, whether it's Pink Panther or Lambo, but like actually not accumulating, but actually getting new users on the platform is a different story. I'll cover Pink Panther super briefly. Honestly, so I gambled on this drop. I got the rare. I think I sold it for 17, rebought it at 10. Someone listed one for 10. I managed to snipe it. Then I resold it again at 17. So I managed to basically minimize the risk, and I knew full well that it was basically just a gamble. I knew full well that I was probably going to lose some gems, but I was just trying to do some damage control at that point. But yeah, Pink Panther Chrome is below retail, or just below retail. Pink Panther Gold is actually pushing 150. This one's pretty surprising. I thought this would be a little bit closer to like 100 or 120, which I think it was for a very brief period of time. Then now it's up to 150, so that's nice. Not financial advice or anything like that, but typically whenever, you know, NFTs like this kind of hit a high, and unless it's a super grail or it's an extremely well-known, highly collectible NFT, I don't know. I could be wrong. Again, not financial advice, but I could see this thing pulling back to like 120 or even like 100 gems in the next like week to week and a half if this isn't you know, sold off sooner rather than later. Again, do your own research. If you love Pink Panther, just keep it, do what you want. But if it's followed the trend of any other either airdrop or kind of not super high tier S tier collectible, they tend to just pull back within a few weeks after the drop. You know, there's a lot of hype, people buy it, they like the gold, all that stuff. But the second there's a new announcement or airdrop or kind of any other new shiny thing, these tend to just kind of pull back, especially since this is so deep in the profit. I mean, you've already gotten a 5x at this point, right? If you bought it for 30, or if you bought it for 100, you get a 50% profit. I mean, a lot of people I think would take that at the end of the day. But that's it. Yeah, this is a little bit longer video that I would like. I'll probably structure it a bit more to make it closer to 10 minutes because I don't expect people to watch a 15, 16, 20-minute video here in the morning. Plus, even for me, I have work in about 45 minutes. So just trying to get this done as fast as I can. Thank you again. Let me know if you guys want me to cover a certain thing, or if there's a certain platform that you guys do like using for the market. Please let me know down in the comments below. So hope you guys take care, and please double and triple check all of your listings so you don't screw yourself over, and I'll catch you guys next time.